Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to everyone. We are here today to attend the Keynote 1 session entitled Value Enhancement in Higher Education in conjunction with NALI 2021 with the theme of Humanizing Artificial Intelligence in Education. NALI 2021 is organized by Universiti Teknologi Malaysia UTM through UTM Academic Leadership UTM Lead and School of Chemical and Energy Engineering in collaboration with Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Johor, Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia. My name is Ana Hazika, your moderator for today's keynote session. With us today, we have our honorable speaker, Professor Surveyor Dr. Hishamuddin Mohd Ali, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Academic and International Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. Assalamualaikum, Prof. How are you today?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
Okay, Prof. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our speaker's background. Professor Surveyor Dr. Hishamuddin Mohd Ali is the Professor of Property Asset Management in the Faculty of Built Environment and Surveying at Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. He graduated with a Bachelor of Surveying Property Management from Universiti Teknologi Malaysia and continued his study at Portsmouth Business School, University of Portsmouth, UK, and graduated with Master in Financial Decision Analysis. Professor Surveyor Dr. Hishamuddin then pursuing his study at PhD level in Property Investment and Finance from the University of Salford, United Kingdom, specializing in property portfolio strategy. His research interest covers asset management strategy, property market dynamics, investment management and valuation. Dr. Hishamuddin has more than 37 years of combined experience in academic, research, and real estate practices. He is actively involved in property research and consultancy projects and has led 16 research and consultancy projects worth approximately 3.4 million ringgit. Professor Surveyor Dr. Hishamuddin is also a well-known academician within the real estate industry in Malaysia. He is a qualified professional as a registered valuer, property manager and estate agent. At international level, he is an international certified valuation specialist in business and intangible asset valuation. He is also a fellow member of the Malaysian Institute of Professional Property and Facilities Manager, a member of European Real Estate Society, a member of Royal Institute Surveyor Malaysia, and a member of Business Valuation Association Malaysia. His vast experience in real estate sector has been recognized and he was designated as one of the expert panels for National Real Estate Research Coordinator since 2008 to date. Currently, he is the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Academic and International of Universiti Teknologi Malaysia since June 2021. Wow, I can say this is a very strong profile for an academician. I believe Prof is the right person to share with us regarding the value enhancement in higher education, especially on balancing the higher education performance. Before we start, I would like to give a reminder. The attendance link will be given in the middle of this keynote session. And if you have any question along the session, you are pleased to post your comment on our Facebook comment. We will have Q&A session with Prof soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are excited to bring it to you Professor Surveyor Dr. Hishamuddin Mohd Ali to give his talk. All right, Prof, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ana, the moderator. Thank you very much again for the nice note just now. So, Alhamdulillah, I've been given the opportunity to share my thoughts on the title of value enhancement, specifically in the higher education. So for a start, I suppose that this is something that quite interesting, for all of us to explore further on what actually we at the university has contributed, which is not only delivering the three important core business that would be teaching and learning, research and innovation, and also how we engage and also contributed, to the society. So, and what would be the value that we have contributed along the way. I suppose when talk about value, this is something that we can measure, and also some of the aspects of value we really difficult. We have difficulties to have some kind of a precise measurement. So I would like to share with you some aspects, before we start. And everybody knows that, through this NALI, I would like to give more emphasis on teaching and learning. So that would be one of our core business. And as you can understand that higher education is the knowledge center, everybody knows, but things has changed. I think we have gone through the evolution of higher education, whereby this time around we are having some kind of competition and also challenges from the market. And as you know that higher education is no longer merely building student knowledge and soul. So basically, we are very much emphasizing on teaching and learning, uh, imparting knowledge, and also some campus experience together with uh, dependent on what program they are taking and enrolling. It's basically is very much on the preparation to face the real world. So when talk about training job skills, I suppose that this is some kind of area that we have to look seriously, because the industry have the luxury, to select which graduates that they want to employ. So this is something that really challenging, and it's not like 30, 40 years ago, whereby the workforce might be a little different. The number of graduates might be quite limited during that time. Especially I'm talking about during my time, 35 years ago. Um, but I think the main question that perhaps we need to give attention is that whether the higher education has adequately provide or preparing students to face the real world. So basically, if we fail to do so, is it that because of our failure, and also perhaps if that the case, what would be the worth of the higher education in the future? So this is something that really important for us. There must be some kind of clearer direction in the future. We must have some kind of changes need to be made, and I believe higher education has become more dynamic compared to the few decades ago. And I would like to share with you some components of value with regard to higher education, but this is not limited. I believe there will be another perspective coming to see how actually we foresee the components of value in higher education. So, of course, first of all, the economic value. We are talking about financial sustainability, although we are in the public universities, but I believe that we are very much concerned about financial sustainability. We have to do some kind of initiatives in order to ensure that we are financially able in order to operate as what needed by the nation. And the next one is the educational value. Perhaps we are looking into the value of our curriculum, and perhaps experiential value is not mere curriculum. We are also looking into the value of our students' exposure in the campus, how they experience the campus life, and perhaps beyond the campus life. I mean, outside the compound of the campus. So basically, if we are talking about UTM in Johor Bahru, we are talking about the surrounding of UTM Johor Bahru, and that would be the real life outside there. And perhaps it will be much different compared to UTM Kuala Lumpur, whereby we can see that outside UTM Kuala Lumpur campus, we can see, a more challenging living over there, especially when we talk about the lifestyle, the cost of living. So I suppose that students who are graduated from UTM KL and also UTM Skudam might giving some kind of a different experience, maybe given a different experience. Perhaps I suppose there will be some kind of what we call some kind of thinking that we have to do in order to ensure that what kind of graduates that has been produced, whether in UTM KL or UTM Johor Bahru. So another one is very abstract, is very soft. That would be human and societal values. This is also within the campus and beyond the campus life. And another thing is innovation value. Innovation value is not only innovation in research and development, but also we are talking about innovation value for all three our core business. And the next one is value of educational service quality. This is very important as well, as we can see that the service quality is really important, and whereby that will be reflecting, the standard or the level of higher education in terms of dealing with with all the stakeholders. And finally is about value creation. This is the overall perspective. I think from what I have listed down just now, we are talking about how actually in future we could create more values. So this is some details about the economic value. Of course, we are talking about financial sustainability, and we also have to ensure that there will be a growth in our revenue. Although we are a public university, and I suppose for a private university, they are very much concerned about financial sustainability, especially during this pandemic, and especially perhaps I could foresee in the future of higher education, especially in post-pandemic, there will be some kind of critical discussion on the tuition fee. So this is really has to be examined deeply in order to sustain our financially able situation. And also we are talking about efficient cost management, and in some cases perhaps we also look into the profitability. But remember, for public university, it's not only the monetary terms but also in non-monetary terms. And of course, when we talk about economic value, and if we can understand what would be the expectation from the investor, they are always looking into the return on investment. And of course, we also look into graduates' employability. I suppose that we could also measure our economic value by looking into how actually our students, get along with the real world after graduation. So this is really interesting because why? We are expecting that our student will get premium employment. So that will be reflecting the economic value of our graduates. Okay, perhaps we could evaluate some kind of calculation or evaluation to see how actually our students has been accepted in the real world, and how actually the wages or the salary that has been obtained by our graduates, that will be some kind of economic measurement for our graduates. And in some countries, they always look into the tuition fee versus the salary that the graduates can get after graduations. So basically, this is some kind of the economic projection, how much that you have invested to further their study, how much the student has invested. Basically, if let's say along the way of 4 years, the amount that has been invested would be, let's say, 20,000, for example, or 40,000. But what will be the return in the future in terms of um, the salary, or what kind of profit if our student become an entrepreneur, what kind of economic benefits that they will get in the future, so that we can see whether it is reliable or viable for our students to pursue their study. So this is something that has been examined by some of the country in the world. And also, with the current scenario, we also expecting that our student becoming entrepreneur, becoming consultant, and especially when gig economy has emerging. So basically, this is some kind of opportunity that we could see at the moment. But this is also not limited. There will be so much innovation in how actually we can improve our economy. And about the educational value, we also look into how flexible is our curriculum. If the curriculum is flexible enough, perhaps this is something that can create value to the university, to the higher education. Another one is, we should also look into our curriculum. Is it a market-driven curriculum? Is it really what actually needed in the market? So this is also very important, and I suppose that most of the university having their own, industrial advisors, industrial advisory panels within their curriculum. And another thing that I suppose that we are going to talk a lot in NALI 2021 is the quality of teaching and learning. This is also really challenging. For the last couple of years, we are facing a new norm, the unprecedented situation. So perhaps this is something that I do also hope that we can come up with some kind of resolution in terms of how and what would be the direction of our teaching and learning, in order to ensure that we maintain the same quality as what we have before the pandemic. And of course, ODL has becoming a phenomenon, and then the quality must be there, the standard has to be complied. And not to forget that the ranking also will be giving some kind of an impact to the value of higher education. And of course, uh, we are talking about internationalization. So where are we now? So perhaps, I suppose, uh, we are talking very much on the how we could engage, globally, and how actually we can capitalize, and how actually we can use that mileage in order to ensure that we are more available, and also more accessible globally. And I suppose this is an opportunity for us during the pandemic as well as the post-pandemic. I think the world has become smaller. It's really accessible, and everybody can get access at any time. You mentioned it. And another one is experiential value. Perhaps everybody now talking about industry-based program, work-based program, and also including campus life, and also beyond the campus life. And perhaps some of us might be looking seriously on to U2I program. So this is something that really important, really value add our graduates, to ensure that the level of marketability can be improved, can be increased by providing the experiential value, to all our students. And this is also very important, human and societal value. We always talk about the culture, and we always talk about our what we call graduates attributes. And I would say that this is some kind of our challenges to transform our students, from year one, from day one, they enter to UTM. We need to transform them and transform them to becoming more critical, more be able to solve problems, have a very good communication, not orally, but also can communicate, through writing and other means of communication. So we are now living in the quite sophisticated world. There are lots of means of communication that we can see, whether it is through a media, a social media communication, or a formal communication. I suppose that that will be some kind of exposure that we should give to our students, and importantly, the team working. Although the team working now is very much, in virtual, but still we need team working, leadership, of course. As a leader, we also need to inculcate the leadership skill to our students, because they are already become their leader on their own. And very important is the sense of identity. This is the identity of UTM, or whatever university that the graduates came from. And I suppose we always talk about the identity to ensure that uh, our graduates can become a personnel that really can contribute, is not only to the nation but also to the people, surrounding them. And uh, not to forget about the emotionally stable, resilient, and these are all the what we call the quality of transformation that we need to give to our students. And it's not really adequate or not enough, just by looking into the curriculum. We need also to very much find a way of how we could embed the soft part of the quality that needed, for our students, after graduation. And of course, networking and industrial linkages, um, the integrity, the civic engagement with the public, caring society, lifelong learning, and of course, we also, hope that our student, be able to prosper lives, is not only for themselves but also for the society. And they also have to face their life decision. Life decision, for example, when to get married, for example. So this is some kind of the decision that has to be made by our graduates along the way, through their experience with us in 3 years or 4 years or more. I think this is the thing that need to be inculcated among them in order to ensure that they become human. And of course, we need case society, and case society is very important now to ensure that everybody, at least have their basic knowledge in order to forego their rest of their life. The innovation value, of course, is not only innovation from the research, but also in the curriculum, teaching and learning, and innovation in academic administration process. And of course, knowledge and theoretical breakthrough also the thing that really that we expect from the higher education. And this is the value of educational service quality. Of course, high productivity in terms of services given to the stakeholders. Cost efficiency. We need to manage the cost. Although we are a public university, we have to manage our financial independently with the limited resources given to us, and also the availability of IT infrastructure and infrastructure, and also the robustness and security system. Academic administration services also need to be very good in terms of providing services, providing academic administration to all of our students. It's not for our student. It's not mere for our students, but also to the rest of citizens of UTM. The staff and also anybody from the external parties of UTM or of the higher education. And we also look into the physical environment, campus experience, and also support services. For example, hostels and any services provided by the university. So, in order for us to enhance education, higher education performance, I would like to relate with the balance scorecard. When we talk about customer centric, the external party or the external stakeholders, we are very much has to give attention to high quality academic service delivery, and also the efficiency of academic costs and administration, because people who are coming to UTM, they are very much now looking for value for money. It's not only value for money, they also would like to see whether UTM or any higher education provider can give better value to them. And so we need to have an innovative curriculum which can value add, our graduates. And also we need to also consider society perception on the institution's overall contribution. And for the internal process, I think Office Artificial Intelligence and IoT with better human, social, economic, and environmental aspect. So we need to have some kind of assistance from AI and also IoT in order to provide better services. And process innovation also need to be there. And every now and then, we need to improve the service delivery. Efficiency and effectiveness is also really important because we still talk about better value. And of course, we will be much better if we can partner with academia, government, industry, and also the society. I think we are pleased that UTM have this initiative, the quadruple helix initiative through our Infostar, which I suppose that Infostar is not only looking into research and innovation, but I suppose in teaching and learning, we also need to, utilize the initiative that has been set for R&I, and then it should be expanded to teaching and learning. And learning and growth, there will be continuous upskilling and reskilling for academic excellence. It's not only for academic staff, but also to non-academic staff. So this is very important for us to see how we can perform and then how we could enhance the value. IR 4.0 enable business process. We have to be much ready for that, especially after the post-pandemic, during the post-pandemic, and as well as the endemic era that we are going to face. And then effective change management. Every day we have to change for betterment, and this is the culture that we have to inculcate. And it's not only to our staff, but also our students and all the stakeholders, and how we manage our talent. This is also important, in order to enhance our performance. So in the financial aspect, of course, as I mentioned earlier, this is something really challenging for us. And I suppose as the public university, we also need to expand, need to find opportunities of possible revenue. Although, as you know, that another area of revenue that we can generate is through many postgraduate programs, as well as special programs, offshore programs, and I think many more we can think about, because we need to ensure that we also can uh, uh, we have to ensure the growth of our financial sustainability. And of course, we also need to really put ourselves into the scenario that we could understand how actually we can enhance the economic value of our university. So this is also important. Although money is not everything, but I think money is also matters in order for us to continue our excellence. And in order for us to enhance the value in higher education, I think all the items that has been listed, on the screen is, I suppose that we have done some of them. We have started many of them. For example, inclusive partnership between students, staff, industry, government, and society. I think we have done this, but the question is how we could expand this throughout the campus. It's not about the number of our students. It's not about the number of programs that we can initiate for our students, but how effective and the programs that we work together with our partner. So that kind of evaluation, that kind of reflection is very important to see whether the effectiveness of the programs, the effectiveness of the partnership can really be seen. So that will be number one. And then the next one, the blended or hybrid teaching and learning. This is also has been started, but how could we give more impact into this blended and hybrid teaching? And how could we deliver uh, much better than what we have before the pandemic, for example? So this is something that we have to ponder. This is something that I think worth for us to discuss, in depth, throughout the conference today, and also until the day after tomorrow. So I suppose the impact is really important. It's not about the technique. It's not about the approach that we are going to use for teaching and learning, but the evaluation part is really matter. And then student financial accessibility. So we are always talking about a real world experience. So when we talk about real world experience, in some cases, I would see that some of our counterpart, in the other country, they are also providing some kind of a real experience, but also during the students study at the university, perhaps they also have the opportunity to do some kind of a real job, and then they manage to get income from the special project or special program that has been established by both university and also the industry. So this is something that is not only we provide the experience, but also the opportunity for our students to get income out of from it. And when we can also think about how we could create jobs during their studies. And the other thing is that the alternative learning context is not only directly to the curriculum, but also we could see how actually we could extend our service learning, for example. And then how could we extend our knowledge transfer program to the public, to the society. So this is something that has been done, but how far that we can go, how extensive that we have done. And the other thing, I think, is very much to the theme of the conference, of our conference. NALI 2021 is about humanizing value in teaching and learning. This is something really soft and need really a deep feeling about how we could humanizing, how we could embed and inculcate humanizing value in teaching and learning, and also between research and teaching, how we could balance them, because research also is very important for higher education, and at the same time, how could these two jive together, in order to enhance the value of the higher education. And the question of how dare you to spend, in order to enhance value, as some of the expenditure, some of the costs might be not giving you a direct monetary return. But I suppose that the value is not mere in monetary terms. I think the image is also very important. I think what we call how people perceive about the higher education is also important in order to make people come and be part of higher education. It's not only in Malaysia but also throughout the world. And how could we inspire our students to make the world better? So before we could inspire students, I think we must also motivate ourselves, so that we also be able to inspire the other of our friends, our colleagues. So basically, this is not a one-way approach. This is something that our academic staff, our non-academic staff, has to be prepared. And the question is how we could inspire the others. And how could we inspire not only the students but also to our friends? And another thing is to convince the public that higher education contributes substantially. This is the awareness that we have to provide to the public. I think this is really important. And I would say that one of our core business is how we could engage to the public. How could we have programs such as engagement with the society? And this is something that really important, to see whether we are really relevant, in the society. And we also have to look into the affordability issues in higher education. I mean, the fees, the tuition fees, the issue of tuition fees. They are saying that the tuition fee has been increased for the last couple of years, and as I mentioned earlier, we need to really examine this issue, whether it is really the amount that has been invested is, or whether it is really a value for money, whether it is really giving the best benefit and also returns to our students or to our stakeholders. So the issue of affordability is really something that we have to ponder and give further attention, so that I suppose that whatever that the amount that has been invested in higher education must be reflecting what would be the future outcome of our graduates, and also anybody who have been in the university, and whether undertaking undergraduate program or any other program, as what provided by the university. So what about in the era of COVID-19? So I think what I would like to mention here is just I would like to pose questions rather than answers. Whether the higher education is still worth it. What about the value? Is the value will change? And then what are the challenges to improve the value? I think this is the thing that need to be examined, and also to relook seriously on the value of higher education during the post-pandemic, or in the era of endemic. And should we enhance? We should enhance the delivery in the new norms. I suppose that online teaching and learning has become a norm in the next few years, and how actually it will reflect the quality of our teaching and learning delivery. So I think this could be discussed, in this 2 or 3 days conference, in these 2 or 3 days NALI 2021. And some people say that in the post-pandemic, the soft campus experience is declining. Is it true? Because students have difficulties to mingle around, to meet their classmates, or to meet the other students, in the campus. So this is something that we have to think about, how we could provide the same experience, the same campus experience in the post-pandemic era. And what about the fees? If we are talking about having the online program, it will affect the fee structure, the scale of fee. But is it that we have to reduce the fee, or perhaps this will be the opportunity to increase the crowd, to increase the number of enrollment, for example. So this is something that need to be that need to be strategized by the higher education provider. And will experiential learning change? And of course, I believe we are going to intensifying online teaching, and we also need to be prepared uh, digital teaching and learning for digital workplace. So we are moving towards digital workplace. So this is something that we have to think seriously on how we could provide the best for our students. And of course, the campus lifestyle also would change. So I believe this is the challenges that we have to face in front of us. I think in the very very near future, and I think we need to have a dynamic approach in managing higher education. So the way forward, so what I can say is that we need to optimize higher education value, whether it is intangible or tangible value, but we need to optimize them with a balanced approach. This is something really challenges. It's easy for me to say it, but in order to implement, I suppose that there will be some kind of a combination of ideas from not only from the academic staff, but also from the non-academic staff. And also we need some kind of input from the public and also from the industry. And when we talk about high value, we need to deliver high performance. So when we talk about high performance in higher education, we are talking about from people to people. And of course, through this conference team, how about we look into both sides, the humanizing value parts as well as the higher education value. So these two aspects need to be really examined, and also we need to have some kind of a balanced thought, and also how we could implement humanizing values, in our higher education as well. At the same time, we need to also maintain the value of higher education. So this is something that we need to seriously look. We need to strategize to ensure that the relevancy of higher education is still at large. So with that, thank you very much for listening. I think back to you, Dr. Anna.
All right. Thank you so much, Prof, for the talk. I can see that there are 7 important values that you have been highlighted in improving the value of higher education, and I can see also that is the most important thing is implement the balanced approach, dynamic approach in higher education. All right. Once again, I would like to remind all participants to fill out the attendance link in the Facebook comment section. Now, we would like to open the question and answer session. All right. I believe there is the first question. All right. All right. There are some issues on enhancing values in higher education. So, based on your opinion, Prof, so how can we explain that higher education is worthwhile, especially for those individuals with lower social economic capital who are not backed up by family support? Because there are many people saying that you can be rich even without having a degree, so you can just do business and so on. What is your opinion on this matter?
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for the questions. I think we need to go back to the basic, whereby when talk about higher education, we also still talking about the fundamental and the fundamental of knowledge. So as I mentioned earlier, this era, the evolution of higher education we can see have changed, and we cannot perceive higher education as mere knowledge center. So basically, when we talk about the affordability, of many of our citizens, many of our uh, stakeholders which have lower income, which have very difficulties, to support in terms of financial support to the students. But I suppose that this is the thing that need to be also looked by not only the government but also the university. I suppose as a public university, we have quite a number of initiatives, to help the students. But of course, the students selection for this group of citizens, I suppose that will be will be filtered accordingly, you know, and we also could see that we have other initiative, for example, from zakat, from our endowment, and also the loan that has been provided by the government. But this is what I'm talking about just now. In higher education, there will be opportunity for our students, to get some extra income during their studies by providing an experiential learning, all together with the industry. So I suppose that the mechanism need to be discussed further, but there will be opportunities. There will be opportunities for this group of people, this group of students. As we know that 50% or more of our undergraduate students has been categorized as B40.
Mhm.
So inshallah, I think we are going to look into this matter. It's not case by case, but we are very much looking into a group of this lower social and economic capital to be assisted, during their study in the campus. So I think no need to worry so much. I think there will be ways, in order to support this kind of family. And one more thing, we also have an initiative with KPT on the first in the family. That will be the what we call the initiative that we have introduced. The first in the family, in other words, whereby if they say the first son or daughter in the family will be given priority to get backup or assistance from the university. So that will be the initiative that we are going to start. And I suppose that between 30 to 50 students will be selected by, from this initiative. So I hope I could answer that, Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Prof. I think there is some initiative and opportunities out there for the students actually, but might as well we need more to let the students know more promotion
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this initiative. Okay,
betul.
so we have the second question, Prof. Sorry, the question is quite long from Mat Aswadi. Okay, thank you,
Aswadi.
Prof, for the sharing. Prof, I would like to ask your opinion. After 2 years of online learning, generally educators are getting a hang of online teaching, but generally feelings are online learning is not effective as the traditional teaching and learning method. Although
Hmm.
most educators are already accepted the need of online learning, but majority are waiting for the situation to go back to normal. What I am afraid is people will abandon this online learning once we are going back to face to face. I think. What is your comment on this, Prof?
Okay, thank you, Aswadi. I think our scenario now is unprecedented, and as a lecturer that has been in the industry for more than 20 or 30 years, I suppose that I still believe our traditional approach of teaching and learning. But you need to bear in mind that there will be changes in the future, whether we are going to face pandemic or not. I think before the pandemic, I think we have started, embarking those online teaching and learning, using technology in teaching and learning, and there are more innovation in teaching and learning because of our new generation, yeah, so called as Z generation, which I suppose that the way that we treat, students in teaching and learning has changed compared to few decades ago. And I suppose blended learning or hybrid learning is a good start. Okay, blended learning and hybrid or hybrid will be a good start, whereby there will be a mixture of online and also face-to-face learning. I suppose that in UTM we are very much, very much looking forward to implement hybrid teaching and learning, which I suppose this is a good transition from a fully online in the future. Who knows? But and also I believe it's not all programs will be suitable for 100% online teaching and learning, and it's not all. There will be some programs maybe is quite relevant to have a 100% online, and the other might be we need some kind of a real experience. And of course, we at UTM, we are very much looking forward to provide a hybrid or blended learning rather than 100% online, unless for a certain programs that we have at the moment, for example, at master's level, I believe those program, we have started, and again, many of them is not really 100% in online, but they also have an opportunity, to come to UTM, or perhaps the lecturers will see them, at the place that they are um, uh, they are having
Correct.
their teaching and learning.
Mhm.
So basically, I suppose I still believe on the hybrid approach, and let's see how how it goes. I suppose that uh, sometimes we really have difficulties, and also it's quite hard for us to face the changes. But I believe through times we should be able to adopt whatever approaches in teaching and learning, and also the effectiveness of teaching and learning. I believe we can see in the near future. And I'm also have difficulties in the early stage of online teaching and learning. But at the moment, I believe I'm still learning, and also I'm still try to get some kind of feeling, to get into the screen in front of me, so that, for example, at the moment now, I could see that I can imagine all of you watching this conference, watching me, online, but I can feel it now. So inshallah, I think we just pray and hoping that whatever approaches, whatever tools that we are going to use in the future will not really affecting the quality of teaching and learning that we can deliver in the future, inshallah.
Inshallah, Prof. I believe that the future will be hybrid and blended learning as well. Okay,
Yeah.
and I think that will solve the solution and how to merge between this 100% online to the traditional method face to face. All right, Prof. We have another one question. All right. Salam, Prof. How can the industry players really contribute and be part of enhancing the values that you have mentioned in your keynote just now?
Okay. Thank you, Diaudin Sofian. I think this is the initiative that we have been started recently. We have a very good relationship with the industry. We have started talking about how could we collaborate all together with the industry, and the industry actually very keen working with us to provide experience to our students. For example, some of the industries, are willing to bring our students, to their places. It's not only for the internship. Okay, as you know that internship is one of the way, to expose our student to the real world. And the industry, I suppose, their challenges is to do the selection. As I mentioned earlier, they have a luxury to select, but actually sometimes they have difficulty to choose. So what they can do is to collaborate with the university, providing what kind sort of exposure to our students, and then at the same time, our staff also can get some kind of benefits from the collaboration, whereby our staff also will have some kind of exposure. What would be the current and also the updated requirement or market scenario in the industry. So I suppose we have the relationship already. The question is how we could expand the relationship in terms of the collaboration, sharing in terms of knowledge and expertise from our part, and also the real experience in their part. I think this collaboration, as I mentioned earlier, through quadruple helix would work. And I believe also that the response that we have got from many industries and also companies outside there really keen to work with us. So the most important thing is the communication. The communication is very important. We need them to understand us, and we also have to understand them. So I suppose that this will give benefits to our students, inshallah. Thank you.
Inshallah, Prof. So I think I can say that the challenges there is to communicate between industry and also university, because we already have the collaboration and partnership
Yeah.
with industry. All right, so I think that is the question that we can take for today because we are limited of time. So thank you so much, Prof, for your insightful sharing, especially on highlighting the way to enhance higher education value and questioning on what is the way forward and the future. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the end of our keynote session. All right, the next session will be the plenary one session with the title of Proctoring Examination with Associate Professor Insinyur Dr. Hayati Abdullah. It is my great pleasure to invite everyone to join the plenary one session at 11:30 a.m. today. Thank you and see you later. Assalamualaikum. Bye everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.